here in Seattle, which is always nice, always a plus. I had a little thing of avocado toast this morning and peppermint tea. So, it's a good morning so far. I actually went to bed at like 9 a.m. 9 p.m. last night. So I'm like super fully rejuvenated for this morning because I was so exhausted from the day before. So, anyways, I got a lot of sleep in. So I'm able to be here and talk to you. Today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about feeling overwhelmed. Yeah. So I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs. I talk to a lot of people who have a really cool idea. They might have been working on it privately for a while. They might have been kind of tinkering, or they might have been really, really working to figure out the prototype, the manufacturing, and like really working secretly, right? Because people aren't, you know, ready to showcase an idea or aren't ready to like bring it out to the world, might be scared of rejection, things like that. But like once you are at the point where you're like, okay, this is it, this is my time, this is when I'm gonna move the needle, this is when I'm gonna go out to the world, and you do it, there's a whole new set of things to be worried about and a whole new set of things to really try to figure out, right? It can be really, really overwhelming. Like life as an entrepreneur can always be overwhelming. Right now I'm talking to you here and I tell you that I went to bed at 9 p.m. and had a full night, sleep and had a full night's rest. But entrepreneurship is never always rosy, right? Entrepreneurship is not always rosy and can be really, really tiresome, overwhelming. So when I was first starting in my journey, like in 2017, I remember days where I would be sitting in front of the computer with my back hunched over, literally just researching everything I could, right? Reading every single article I could, reading every single blog I could, trying to figure out how to do the thing, right? Just how to entrepreneur, or like how to start a business, how to register a business, how to get a domain name, how to start a website, how to build a website, what website builder to use to build it. Like there's so many questions all the time. And it's easy to just kind of like get bogged down and feel really overwhelmed. And for people on this crowdfunding journey, also really easy to get bogged down and feel overwhelmed because, well, you're not only literally creating a completely new product or have a completely new idea that you want to make. And so you're sitting there trying to make the thing, right? Figure out how to publish a book, which kind of editors to use for a book, what kind of manufacturers you need to have for this game, or trying to figure out a supply chain for your new electronic gadget, like whatever it is that you're doing, you're like trying to make the thing. So you're overwhelmed. And on top of that, you're also trying to figure out this whole crowdfunding thing, right? You're trying to figure out what the heck is crowdfunding? How do I actually use it? Like, does it work for my project? What do I have to do to succeed? Like, I hear about this email list building thing. I hear about this audience growth thing. What do I do? Like, this is a lot, right? It's a lot. So it's really easy to feel overwhelmed a lot of the time. A lot of people I talk to get to a point where they say that they can't go forward anymore. And they're like, this is too much, right? And I'm going to have to say that it's okay, right? It's okay. I feel overwhelmed a lot of the times too. When I was first started, again, like I was really just trying to understand things and I wasn't sure if what I was doing was right. What I was doing was kind of taking me down the right path. Like when I was using, for example, like Unbounce to like create my landing page and like create my website. I was like, is this the right thing to do? When I was using Squarespace, right? I was like, is this the right thing to do? Is this the right thing to use? When I was using like MailChimp and like trying out Drip for email marketing, I was like, is this the right thing to do? Am I using the right thing? Right? Like continually questioning what I do, and continually just like questioning myself too. Like, am I doing the right thing? Is this right? Am I able to make this happen? Right? And so that constant questioning and like trying to learn as you do, like trying to kind of build a bridge as you're walking on it and running on it. That feeling of entrepreneurship can be really overwhelming. So if this is you and if you're feeling overwhelmed by like this whole creation process, trying to understand how to crowdfund, right? How to build a community, how to engage your community, how to, make people excited and hyped for your project. And you're also like building the thing and you're feeling just like you want to rip your hair out, like you're not alone. Okay. Firstly, you're not alone at all because a lot of people feel that way too. I feel like that a lot of the time too. Okay. I still feel overwhelmed. I remember when I was living in an apartment on the other side of the Seattle area, like it's called a little city called Silverdale. I was living in an apartment, had my computer and my like two monitors up, and I remember sitting there, and it was probably the 15th hour I was working, right? And I was like, can I do this? Like, is this possible? Like, I was trying to figure out like a piece of code in order to make my website look more mobile optimized, right? And I was like, how do I do this? Is this like gonna make an impact? Like, just like how? And I was getting so frustrated after like 15 hours of just like searching and trying to do something. So, I've been there. I've been there. And, in your journey, you will get frustrated. In your journey, you will get overwhelmed. In your journey, you will always want to give up. Like you will get to that point where you're like, why is it not working? And why is this not going the way I want it to go? That's okay. Okay. That's okay because it happens to all of us. And the difference between, us creators, entrepreneurs, makers, thinkers, doers, and anyone else in the population is that we have this mindset where kind of anything is possible, right? If you don't have that mindset where anything is possible, you're probably not here right now. You're probably not here trying to make something new. You're probably not here trying to build a community. You're probably not here trying to like create something and make the world a better place, right? If you don't have that mindset, you're probably not sitting here listening to me talk or like driving and sitting and like listening to me talk or like reading my blog posts or looking at my Instagram or watching my YouTube and things like that. You're probably not doing that. So as creators, entrepreneurs, thinkers, doers, remember that at the core, at the end of the day, it's all possible, right? It's all possible and you can do it. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, just like stop what you're doing. Just stop what you're doing because the deeper you go into it, the more frustrated you become. Just stop what you're doing. Just like take a step back and really let your mind go. Yeah, let your mind go because the more you're like trying to nitpick on an idea, the more your brain doesn't allow for that inspiration to strike or that creativity to strike, right? When you're feeling bogged down, just take a step back and look at the big picture where anything is possible, right? Because at the beginning of our idea, at the inception or conception of any idea, right? We're in this world where anything is literally possible. We can make this. We can, make the strongest phone case in the world. We can, start a book that, write a book that has millions of people read it. We can create a game that, beats Ticket to Ride in terms of sales. Like we can do all of this at the beginning of our like journey, right? So take a step back when you're overwhelmed and just think back to all those possibilities because all this has been done and all this can be done again, right? And a lot of the time we get overwhelmed because we get so bogged down in the details that we forget to look at the big picture. And the big picture is that the world is full of possibilities and there's so much we can do. Yeah. And another thing I like to do, or I would also recommend doing when you're overwhelmed is ask for help. Literally just ask for help. A lot of us, a lot of us think that, we believe in that myth of the lone entrepreneur. We believe in the myth that if you do it, you have to do it alone. You have to go it alone, right? It's like the rags to riches story. It's like the David and Goliath story where you like can fight off everything and get to the finish line, right? But really, it takes a freaking village, right? It takes a village to build a company. It takes like a village to scale a company. It takes a lot of people with a lot of skills and a lot of expertise, and to make all this happen. And whoever said that they needed to hear this today, thank you. I'm so glad that this is, you know, impactful for you, because I myself have needed to hear this in the past too. So thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know too, by the way. Anyways, as I was saying, it takes a village. You know, I'm not good at everything. There's no way I can do everything that happens in the business that I run right now. Yeah. Like, for example, that coding experience that I was talking to you about. I ended up hiring someone because there's no way I could sit there, and I don't have a coding background. I don't have a CS degree. I don't have experience with, you know, I don't even know coding languages, C++. I don't even know if they use it anymore, right? Like, I don't have that experience. And I was sitting there just trying to learn something that people take years to learn, pick up, and master, right? I was sitting there ripping my hair out, just trying to figure out, like, why is it that I couldn't do this? Why am I lesser, right? Why was I not able to make this happen if other people out there can do it, right? And then, but think of it this way, right? Like, people take all their lives to be amazing software engineers and coders and build brilliant sites, and I haven't dedicated my life to that. So why was I here thinking that I could do something better than someone else who has this amazing expertise, right? Why was I the person to think that I could do that? So I was like, hey, I should just hire someone, right? So I brought on a freelancer. He like looked at my website and fixed it for me, made it more mobile optimized, made sure that a lot of the plugins were there so that things were like moving quickly when it came to searching, people like clicking on the website and like opening up pages, things were loading quickly, right? So he quickly did that in probably a fraction of the time it would have taken me to do everything that I wanted to do with my site. And I was just sitting there, just in my own head saying, why am I not good at this? Why can't I do this? Why don't I have the skills? Right. And being just overwhelmed by my own kind of insecurities and incompetencies, and being overwhelmed by just my own kind of not able to do-ness. Right. But all I had to do was ask for help. Was literally just go out there and see who an expert was and ask for help. And even in my business right now, my podcasts, at first, I was trying to edit my podcast myself. Okay. I was really trying to do it myself. I was like, okay, so I like do this transition. I like try to mute out the background audio, and if you listen to the first like few episodes of the podcast, you'll hear that it sucks. Okay. Straight up. It sucks because I don't know what I was doing. I didn't even have a microphone. Okay. I was just like talking into my laptop, right? It sucked. But then, I looked for help. I went to like fiverr.com, okay, and just looked at people who like knew how to do this. And I chatted with them, and I was like, hey, I have this podcast. Like, how do I make it better? What do I do? Not only do I have an expert, a pro who does this all the time to edit my podcast now. So, it sounds good, right? But they also gave me advice on like things to buy, like a microphone with a little, I don't even know what this is called, by the way, a microphone with like a sound protector so the P's and B's don't really pop, right? So all this was I just went out there and I looked for someone who could help, because, instead of just being bogged down by my incompetencies and being bogged down by what I didn't know how to do, I'm now understanding that it takes more than just me to make it happen, right? And rather than trying to be overwhelmed by why I can't do something, I now understand that, like, I can be good at something. I can also not be good at something. And I'm okay now asking for help when I'm overwhelmed. I'm okay trying to reach out. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by something, right? And if it's something that you're seeing that it's not something that you're an expert at, and that's okay. You can ask for help. You can ask for help at any time. No one's gonna dock you, life points for asking for help. Okay? Like right now, too, with social media, Instagram, there's reels, there's stories, there's IGTV, there's all I don't understand that. Right? At first I was like, what is this? I just know that there's social media, right? And so I asked for help. Okay? I asked for help. I went out and I found an assistant, a virtual assistant who understands the social media stuff, who understands this, and she taught me, all this thing about the algorithm, all this thing about IGTV, and all these things about reels and how you get more reach and how to use hashtags and how to actually record and upload and put captions. So like at first, I was just like hiding and not using it. If you scroll through my Instagram, you'll see I wasn't using any of that, right? But now you'll see there's a lot more of it going because, I get it, right? I get it now because, it you don't know everything, right? Going on this entrepreneur journey, you won't know everything. You'll feel like crap for not knowing everything, and you'll feel like crap for thinking that you're behind everyone else because everyone else seems to always be like 5 steps ahead of you. You're going to feel like crap. But that's okay because, to be honest, people are confused too. Everyone is so confused too. Everyone's like wondering all the time if they're doing the right thing, okay? It's just getting over that like little hump and making sure that you ask for help. Ask for help, okay? And the last thing is like if you're feeling like overwhelmed with crowdfunding, right? You're trying to build this product, you're trying to understand crowdfunding. There's a lot of resources out there for you, right? There's a lot of things you can do to really learn, right? I recommend people, going out and just like trying to understand, through reading blogs or books. Like doing those like super basic things first, reading blogs, reading books, listening to podcasts. And if you need more help, reach out to people like me. There's a lot of people who work to help entrepreneurs through a crowdfunding process, okay? There's a lot of us out there. Not only me, other people too that I trust and really, really respect. So reach out to people and know that you're not alone, okay? And this whole journey, right? There's been thousands and thousands of creators and makers and entrepreneurs and thinkers before you doing this and building this path. You're not alone. If you have questions, reach out, and there's a lot of information out there that you can kind of pick up and take and learn so that you don't feel overwhelmed. You don't feel like you can't do it. You don't feel like you're stuck in a rut, okay? Because really, I've been there too. And so I have this Post-it in front of my desk right now, on my computer that I look at every day. And this is what I'm doing. This is the 2 things I want to provide to everyone who comes across my path, right? Who sees my content, who like reads my stuff, who listens to my podcast. I wrote this down at the beginning of this year. It says confidence and clarity. And that's what I'm here to do. That's what I hope to help you, have by coming on this crowdfunding journey with me, right? To have that confidence that you are enough to ask questions, to put things together, put systems together, build a crowd, build a community. You have that confidence to be yourself, be the entrepreneur that, I know you can be because you're here because you're creating something new for the world, right? That takes guts, okay? It takes guts to be a person who says, I'm going to make something out of thin air and put it out to the market. So I'm here to give you that confidence to be that person I know you can be. I'm also here to give you that clarity, right? Like what you actually need to do. No BS, right? Like what you need to do to make it happen, right? A lot of the stuff out there can be noise, right? But my sole reason is to give you the clarity of like teaching you like what it means to crowdfund, how crowdfunding works in your whole product life cycle, what it means to go to market with crowdfunding, how crowdfunding actually works, what building a crowd is like, right? So this is my 2 words for the year that I hope to help everyone with. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, right, you know, take a step back. Sorry, I'm just putting my Post-it back on the screen where I look at every day. But yeah, if you're feeling overwhelmed, take a step back. Know you're not alone. Know that people struggle too. Ask questions, reach out, and like find people. Find people who have done it, and so people who can help you. Okay. Okay, well, this is what I have today. If there's any questions, you know, leave them in the comments, and I will be here to answer them for you. If you have anything that, you know, you want to talk to me about, just, you know, find me online. Let's chat. Let's talk. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up on YouTube. And if you have, you know, any thoughts or questions, leave in the comments. And I would appreciate it if you're on YouTube and you subscribe so I can grow the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. And you know, you got this.